Back to Arrowhead Stadium, the AFC Championship game. Tom Brady looking to go to his 9th Super Bowl. Came down to the final seconds in regulation and then some. 40 seconds to go, and the Patriots score the go-ahead touchdown. But Pat Mahomes got the offense down the field into Harrison Butker field goal range. He does his job brilliantly there on the 39-yarder, and we go into overtime. Patriots get the first possession. They would not give the football back to that man. Get it down to the goal line and the offensive line with Rex Burkhead scoring the last 2 touchdowns for the Pats. 37-31 the final, and that man is now a 9-time AFC champ.
The odds were stacked against us, and it hasn't been that way for us for a while, and it certainly was this year. And we started off so slow, and like I said, the last 4 games have been our best games. This is a game offensively we did a good job. We had a couple little screw ups, but pretty good for the most part. And then defensively they hung on and played their butts off. Shut them out in the first half, which was pretty spectacular. And you're not going to shut this team out, for 4 quarters. Certainly not at home. And it was a great team win.
Well, it was Brady's 12th game-winning drive in the playoffs. It was his 9th fourth-quarter comeback in the playoffs. Remember when Joe Montana used to be the gold standard for, hey, you're as cool as Joe Montana late in the playoff game? Brady has almost doubled him up now in that category. The victim this time, of course, was Kansas City. That's where we take you now live. James Palmer is there. And James, it's the loudest stadium in football, but the team headquarters today, I guess, had to be very, very somber.
Yeah, it was a quiet one, and Andy Reid spoke to us this afternoon, and he said to us, we were this close to a trip to Atlanta. And when he went up with his fingers like this, he was referencing Dee Ford lining up just a couple of inches offsides on a play late in the game where Tom Brady ends up throwing an interception that would have sealed the Chiefs with a Super Bowl berth, but Ford called for being offsides. Now, Andy Reid did say he agrees with the call. He thought it was legitimate, but said in a game of this magnitude, sometimes players are warned about where they're lining up. Dee Ford was not warned at any point where he was lining up, but also Andy Reid and Ford, who spoke to us, both not making any excuses about the issue.
Sloppy football on my end, and I'll take that on the chest. That was a opportunity for the whole city of Kansas City to, make history. And, it is what it is at the end of the day. I'll take it on the chest, and I'm going to use it as motivation. Sloppy football on my end at the end of the day. Whether it's 6 inches, however many inches, I was offside.
Well, Andy Reid told me that this was a nice foundation for Patrick Mahomes playing in a game of this size moving forward, and on that defensive side of the ball. We'll see if there could be some changes. Dee Ford is a free agent moving forward, could be franchise tag. Will Bob Sutton return to this defensive coordinator? Well, Andy Reid was asked about that specifically, would not comment, but there's a lot of things to analyze on that side of the ball, Scott.
Yeah, James, I don't know if it's any consolation to the folks over there, but we have seen the future of the AFC, and its name is Mahomes. Thank you, James Palmer. Lindsay?
49 years removed from their last Super Bowl appearance. It's the second longest drought in the NFL, Reggie Wayne, but it feels like they're close. Is it as simple as making a few changes and they're back at it again next year?
Just a few changes. Keep everything in motion. If you're part of the Kansas City Chiefs organization, or if you're even in Chiefs Nation, your future is very, very bright, and simply because of the young stallion and Patrick Mahomes. He's had such a special year. A lot of people will sit up there and wonder if a guy playing that high throughout the year, you wonder if he's going to fall off. But I think this is the guy who we're going to see all the time. This is just who he is. I don't see him taking a step back at all. He's just one of those guys that is special. He's talented. He can do all the things that a lot of guys dream of doing. And then at the same time, you have an Andy Reid, who is a mastermind when it comes to the offensive side of football. And I think as long as Patrick Mahomes is there, then Andy Reid's going to ride into the sunset with him. So you kind of got $35 million in cap space. Use some of that money on the defense, and just think about all the defensive stops that they could have had. And that means that to get the ball back to Patrick Mahomes, that's a lot more points they can score.
How far away are they on defense?
Oh, they're just a secondary. Get that secondary tightened up. I think that's where they struggle at a lot. Obviously, the running game's tighten up on that as well. But you got your core guys together, just a couple pieces here and there.
26.3 points allowed in the regular season.
That's a lot.
No one's ever won a Super Bowl with a number that high, so they definitely want to get that down.